Okay, so the route that we're taking in this this run that you're about to watch is pretty standard. When we run it, we will not, I repeat, we will not be going this route. And if we do, we're not going to be killing the last boss of this wing because we need to do sap polarity. And the last boss in this wing is the polarity boss. On these packs, anything that's called Patchwork Golem, they have an AoE stun. So you'll notice I fapped on this pack. Whenever we can, we're gonna wanna do that. Fap 8 prevents them from stunning, allows us to stack them and cleave them down. These packs do absolutely nothing. They do a lot of damage, like physical damage, so you pull aggro, just be careful. But they just do a bunch of damage. So we'll just kind of skip through this. In the middle of the room, there's going to be an abomination that drops. We're just going to blow it up really quickly. And then on the left or right, we have to be careful because we can pull packs of 3. We're going to want to get this single if the pad is good. And then ideally you want to go to the left. It's the same thing, but we're going to spread them out because we don't have FAP up because these mobs do stun. You can see on the left and the right, they're both golems. So you're going to kill the big guy in the middle and then kill the golem separate like this. After this, FAP should be up again, so we're going to go to the 3-pack to the right of where we are right now and FAP, and sorry, the 4-pack and pull that 4-pack. I'm going to kill the single. So FAP is coming up right now, and we're going to pull, we're going to FAP, we're going to kill them in groups of 2. There are blobs that pat from the boss up above us, so with that being said, if they pat in favor, we're going to get them as soon as they go, and if not, we're going to try to beat them. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Our raid leader will just have a look and call it. In the room after this, there are a bunch of slimes. The slimes in the next room are different than the slimes in the first room. They do a fuck ton of proximity damage. It is incredibly important that we don't get close. They will absolutely blow up melee. You can use engineering, you can use ranged spells. For all the paladins that won't be in our raid, they can do a ton of damage to these things. So that's really cool. Shamans can like fire Nova Totem and stuff. Priests can throw up Shadow or Pain, etc. But you'll see here, like, I get close, I take a bunch of damage. I obviously kind of see, I just took like 60% of my life. So they do a lot of damage. One last thing to note, and I will talk about the mobs that stun the Patchwork Horrors, they also cleave, and they're cleave chains, so it's really important that if you are tanking those mobs for whatever reason, you are facing them away from the raid, and if you are dumb enough to pull aggro, that you immediately flip it back to the way it was, because again, those cleaves will, 2 cleaves will probably kill a rogue. You gotta make this jump, you take a bunch of damage. Nano took a bunch of damage, everyone point and laugh, he's the hunter in this raid. Okay, so same thing here, we're gonna pull these guys up. So these guys do not stun, but they do cleave. Oh wait, yes, no, these are the stun mobs. Okay, don't jump in green. If you do jump in green, you want to bandage yourself, eat, do anything to help the healers. You can see almost the entire raid doesn't know how to jump, so that was really cool. In these pack, the mobs mark Skull the Monstrosities. They are the priority kill target for every single player in the raid. They not only do they fear, but they also drop a totem. If they do drop the totem, you absolutely have to switch to it. The totem does an immense amount of damage. It's incredibly important that they die as fast as possible. And if we do get the totem, that the totem gets blown up. Priests need to be fear warding on cooldown, basically from the start of the instance until we're done this swing. There are a ton of fears that go out from these mobs, as well as kickable fears. Luckily we're playing Horde, so not that bad. We can trim our totem. So we're just going to clean up this trash here. And the rest of the trash to Patchwork is going to be pretty much standard. We're just going to be blowing up 1 and 2 packs, targeting the monstrosities, and fear warding, getting fears dealt with, and then killing them first. Killing totems if they spawn. We're going to fast forward here to Patchwork. Okay. So we're going to get Patchwork roughly in this position. On the way in, melee are going to dip 1 time. They will not need to re-dip unless they are specifically called for, but the likelihood that you'll need to re-dip is basically 0. And so what's happening here is your goal is to not get above 8,500 or 9,000 life. You will never receive a heal, and also to not pull threat, which should be almost impossible on this boss. And all you're going to be doing is standing behind the boss and blasting. If you are a healer, you will have an assigned target, and you will be spamming your max rank heal on that target and nothing else. You will not press another fucking button. So this is the boss. It's not full, it's actually at 25% life, but I'm in the green, so that is my max life until I come out. So you can see someone pulled aggro here and they got one person killed. Our tanks, surprisingly, were really on top of it. Not exactly sure what happened, but tanks were really on top of it, got in position really quickly. Normally like 3 people should have died there. But only 1 person died, so tank's up big. So anyways, fight kind of goes on. Patchwork will enrage. When he enrages, usually your main tank and your other tanks are going to pop greater stone shields and or a shield wall. You'll be told what to do. Also, warriors will likely pop wreck on this boss. So Nana will obviously have that all laid out. This is Frogger. If you get hit by the slimes, we will laugh at you. And you will die instantly. So here, everyone's going to fail to jump again because people don't know how to jump. Okay, and then you're going to heal yourself because that's the right thing to do. Okay, so these mobs, they knock up. They have a, kind of like, I guess like a kidney shot, but instead of stunning, it knocks you directly up. So they're just tanked under the alcoves. They can be stunned. They have a spell that needs to be kicked. You can kick it, you can stun it, you can do whatever the hell you want, but you definitely can't let it go off, and you definitely can't die to fall damage. Alright, so we're going to pull this back with a hunter pet. Same thing. Alright, so for this boss, pretty straightforward. You're going to let the tank go in. You're going to stand in a very, very tight stack. Melee will have to wait a second to go in, and then they're going to stand in a very tight stack at max melee range. Very, very simple. Only one person will be dispelling on this boss, and it will be predetermined. The person who is dispelling is the only person to dispel. They will dispel the target that gets the injection when and only when they are out. So it will be like, let's say Unsquashable is cleansing, okay, for whatever reason. It will be like RX has debuff, RX gets out and says cleanse now, and then Squash will cleanse me. So the person who gets the debuff will usually say when. Pretty simple mechanic. You run them around in the room, you fucking blow them up. When the ads spawn, you cleave off the ads. Very, very simple. If you dispel early, you're actually a fucking ape. And yeah, I don't know, just don't be dumb. Very simple boss. Falls over. Very cool. And so then you go up here. If you fall, we will laugh at you. So, you know, don't fall. Don't be bad. In the tunnel, you take a very small amount of damage, so you won't be able to like eat and do stuff in the tunnel, so do any of that here. And then you're going to basically run right in. The next boss is Gluth. We're basically going to have a Shaman and a Warrior, probably with Earthbind Totem, and Piercing Howl, kite all the ads that spawn around. If you were a DPS, you were just going to fucking pump the boss. Make sure you throw Fear Words out in the entire fight. Make sure if you're a Warrior, Zerker Radiant, Death Wishing, etc., etc. And yeah, you're basically just blowing up the boss. That's it. Nothing too crazy on this fight. There's ads, you kite them around. That'll be assigned to 2 or 3 people. Okay, after this, the door will open. It'll be like a red light, green light type thing. So it'll either be yes, you can go, or no, you can't go. If you can go, you'll be told. If you can't go, like here, we have to wait. There's a pat, and now we're told to go. If you pull the pad, it will probably chain another pack with it, and people could die. On this fight, you'll be assigned a side, you'll go to the side, and basically the 2 mobs have to die within, I think it's like a few seconds of each other, or they reanimate, so that's bad. So Again, just listen to your raid leader. If he says stop DPS, stop DPS. If he tells you to drop Ignite, fucking drop Ignite. If you wipe us on this boss because you can't stop DPS on the ads, I mean, you're probably just getting kicked from the guild. It's not very complicated. When these guys die, everyone has to make the jump. It's a very, very simple jump. You just press your jump key. If you're a class that has any kind of movement speed, like a rogue or a hunter, you can just actually walk as well. You don't even have to press the jump button. You can just sprint or aspect, and yeah, you're good. You can see here we called stop damage because obviously the side that I'm on is just fucking blasting. Okay, you jump. Okay, usually the tank will go on positive portal side and everyone else will go on negative Nancy side. And then the debuff will go out. If you get negative, you're going to stay where you are stacked. And if you get positive, you are going to move. I got negative, I stayed. And now, once you're in position, it's very simple. When the debuffs go out, if your debuff changes, you move. If your debuff stays the same, you fucking don't. It's very, 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 very simple. Honestly, if you mess up this mechanic, you deserve to be made fun of. It's incredibly simple. I go different debuff, move. Really important that if you are like a mage or a hunter or a healer, you do need to come a little bit closer. And melee also needs to be max melee range for the reason that people can stack the boss. Hunters still need to be able to shoot the boss. Mages, whatever, but hunters still need to be able to shoot the boss. So just make sure you're doing that. The boss will die. Positives run out the portal right away. Like I looked at the loot, I'm a fucking rat. Positives, get out, okay, and do this. We're going to be doing something a little bit different on Sap Polarity. I will link a video on what we should do with that, but this is roughly how you do this fight when you're not doing Sap Polarity. The debuffs will drop. You can see them rapidly dropping. There's 14 seconds left. And then when they drop, everyone else will kind of collide. You're going to skip here. So pass. Yep, what's up? Yeah, there's a weak aura you can use, or a DBM, or Bigwigs will also tell you. Okay. So now... yeah, your debuffs. Okay, so now we're gonna do Spider Wing. So Spider Wing is a lot of AoE taunt / engineering type shit. So you'll see here the first pack, we're basically gonna wait for the pat. There's a little spider pat that pats. We're gonna pull the first pack with the spider pack. We're gonna sapper it all down. It's just gonna die instantly. It's the one that just marked that ran away. Okay, it's coming. We're probably gonna pull when it comes back the other way. Here it comes, and we're gonna pull. We're gonna walk in. Every single person using engineering, AoE taunt. Good. All right, for these, every single person needs to stack except one hunter and I think a druid. Nano will tell you who you are, but every single person needs to stack. These mobs charge and they do a ton of fucking damage, so we don't want to risk anything. So stack up, pop your oil of MOs on the way in. Okay, same thing. Stack, stack, stack. These mobs also put, I believe, a curse out, so we need to decurse, I believe. But yeah, it's basically just to kill the big guys and cleave down the little guys. Okay. On this, Nano will basically tell us how to do it, but don't get hit by Impale, which is the big slam on the ground. Make sure the ads get centered and cleaved down, or priority killed, depending on how we decide to do it. But this fight is very straightforward. It's basically a tank and spake, and you just don't want to get impaled. So you'll see here, he'll kind of face a random person and slam the ground like this. And people get knocked up and they take a bunch of damage. So if you are not rooted, he does randomly net people. Like I'm netted right now for 8 seconds. If you are not netted, you should not get hit by the slam. Okay, I'm not netted. As you can see there, I dodged a slam. Cool, boss dead, very hard boss. So next thing, we're gonna have a spider pack that we're gonna go do. This is around the time where you would take off your undead trinkets. And you would take them off until Faralina's dead, roughly. We're doing this, we won't normally, well, we probably will pull this back for the first couple of Naxxes, but we're just doing that for the quest for people who don't have it. Gonna be an AoE taunt here that went out late, or maybe we just dummied, I don't know. Okay, same thing here, we're gonna stack, kill the priority targets. Okay. The next packs, the next small packs are gonna have assigned AoE taunts. They do a fuck ton of damage. They will basically like 2-shot mages, like 2 or 3-shot rogues, probably kill warriors quite fast as well. Yep, AoE taunt rotation. Alright, gonna pull these guys back, stack and blow them up. So this is really important for casters. There is a lot of mechanics where you have to stack. So I know you guys are used to being 30 yards away. You're gonna want to stack when you're called to stack. If you don't stack, you're gonna fucking die. We're gonna laugh at you. AoE taunt. Yeah. Oh, our bopping dummies. Okay, cool. Alliance Pryor. Oh, Warface pick. Alright, on these next packs, so what's going to happen is there's going to be, I think it's like 8 mobs in the pack. 4 of them cast Shadow Volleys. There will be assigned kicks. You let the first one whiff, and then you kick after that. It is really important that you are never behind these mobs and you are always parrying the shit out of them, because they do an arcane explosion that knocks back, and if they arcane explosion you, you get knocked back into another pack, you will lose our fucking world buffs. So you parry the shit out of these fucking caster mobs. Watch us do these packs a few times. Gonna get this pack here, probably AoE taunt. Yep. Good. And you can out of range the Shadow Bolt. So you kind of saw in that last pack, like we just went out of range. It's only like 35 yards or something. All right, so what happens on this fight is there will be assigned priests. They have to mind control the guys that are marked like the worshippers, I think they're called. And they have to cast that ability while they're mind control called Sacrifice, and it basically unenrages Fairlita. But the long story short is if you kill them and you cleave them down, we're going to have a bad time. So just be really careful with your cleave and don't stand in fire. But other than that, it's don't pull aggro on the boss, don't kill the targets too early, and don't stand in fire, and let the mind control people do their mind control job. That's basically it. If shit goes bad on the mind controls, Vital will probably just shield wall. Yeah, Vital will probably just shield wall. Or lip it to the next tank and they will shield wall. Something along those lines. So these next packs are quite easy. There's really nothing to note here. You know, just kill the priority targets that are marked. Alright, so these packs, those undead packs, so if we will have to pull at least one and we might get more. Really simple with those undead packs. They can be disarmed and stunned, and those mobs enrage and hit like trucks at 30%. So save a disarmed, save a 1-point kidney, anything when they get to 30%. The wizards on the corner there, very straightforward. Just LOS their first cast and blow them up. These guys literally don't do anything, so you just kill them. A warrior can also disarm. Yep. Like they're gonna die fast. Like a warrior can just go into defensive stance at like 50%, disarm it, and then execute it in execute phase. It'll just die. Okay, the shades in the middle, if you pull them, they do a fuck ton of damage and they need to basically be blown up. We will have to deal with some shades later on in the instance, so that's kind of what they do. You'll see it later when we get to the military wing, I believe. Alright, so this boss isn't undead, so you don't want to have your undead trinket on. You can see I just took it off right there. So basically, long story short is there will probably be a stock DPS call, and you guys need to fucking listen to that. Random people will get thrown up in webs, and there will be assignments on who's to kill them. It'll probably be hunters, because we have more than one in our raid. But usually 2 people get assigned to DPS the webs down, and 2 people get assigned to heal the webs. So that's what's going to happen. Nothing too special on this fight. Don't pull aggro. When we call it that the ads are going to spawn, use some sort of engineering to just nuke down the ads so they don't grief our healers in our range. And that's it. Congratulations. This fight is quite easy. It is really important though that you stop DPS, because we want to get one web wrap before the boss actually enrages, because he enrages at some percent. I don't know, it's like 30% or some shit. Yeah, web spray. And you can see here he's going to enrage, and then Vital's going to pop every single defensive. Last Stand, Life-Giving Gem, just everything. Well, it's not vital, but in this raid, but our vital will do this. Oh, Kiss the Spider, look at that. Poggers. Ricky won that Kiss the Spider, by the way. Yep. Okay, so this is, I think this is military wing? Oh, I'm just eating, I guess, in front of military wing. Alright, so in this wing, in the first part of the trash, pretty straightforward. We are going to kite the slimes, so there's going to be a hunter or a mage assigned to kite the 2 slimes and build good threat on them, while we DPS down the ghouls. Again, we need to, at 30%, 1 point kidney shot the ghouls, disarm them something, and then we're going to kill the slimes once some aggro is established. They hit quite hard. Those gargoyles that you just saw us kill, so when they get to, I want to say it's like 40%, they start casting an ability called Stone Form. What Stone Form basically does is, if they're not killed before Stone Form finishes casting, they go back to full life. Really, really important, those gargoyles shoot a stacking debuff. So if you don't kill them, they keep stacking the debuff, people will die. You can pretty safely get to about 6 or 7 stacks before you hit the shit out of your fucking healers. But just listen to the raid lead, kill the priority targets, listen to what people say, and it's not a problem. You can see here we're at 5 stacks and people are pretty healthy. We're going to pull 1 more pack, probably go to 7 or 8, and then everyone's going to sit and eat while the healers just ramp fucking heals into us. So we're into 8 stacks, everyone's going to sit and eat. Really important that melee, get mage food. Get a stack of mage food. You will need it during this instance. Get 1 single stack. Don't be cheap, don't be dumb, don't be bad, don't tax the healers. Same thing here. So on Noth is pretty straightforward. He summoned some ads, you gotta just blow up the fucking ads. He randomly teleports and does a threat drop, so if you have threat and you're a warrior, just get in defensive stance and throw a shield on. And if you're a rogue, just press the button that removes aggro, or press the button that makes you not die, or I don't know, just don't pull aggro, I don't know. Really important, so he curses the entire raid. When he curses the entire raid, it goes out on every single person, and when the curse detonates after 8 seconds, every single person that has the curse, for each player, every person in the raid takes like 6,000 shadow damage, or some ridiculous number. If 1 goes off, your whole raid gets chunked. If 2 go off, your really shitty gear players die, and if 3 go off, your entire raid dies. So every single person needs to be, every single mage, every single druid needs to be decursing. It's literally not optional. In the event that something bad happens, there is an item called Moist Towelette that removes curses. It's very good. I recommend you keep it in your bag. Other than that, the boss is actually quite easy, very, very boring. This is a gauntlet. You're going to run through the gauntlet, and when we say sapper now, you're probably going to sapper now. But this is a very, very easy gauntlet. Priority target the monstrosities, which are the big ghoul-looking things. I'm targeting it right now, or the beasts, I guess. Priority target them. And then we're going to get into a corner right before Hygen. Hygen is, again, a very, very straightforward boss. You were just going to follow behind Vital. That's it. Do not fucking pull aggro off Vital. If you pull aggro off Vital, you better fucking know what you're doing on that boss. But you're going to not pull aggro, stand behind and follow Vital. If for any reason Vital dies, or you pull aggro, you cannot, and I cannot stress, you cannot bring this boss closer to the casters in the range. He has a fucking mana burn, and the mana burn has like a 25-yard range, so as long as he's farther than 25 yards, nothing will happen. The mana burn will fucking one-shot a caster. It literally hit Unicorn for like 13,000 damage on DD. It just kills them instantly. So if you pull aggro or the tank dies, you need to go into the tank position immediately, or you will probably get a healer kill. The next boss is Lotheb. Lotheb is incredibly easy. You pre-pop a Shadow Potion. I mean, Nano, that's it. You go to your assigned spore, and if you're a healer, there's a healing rotation, and honestly, the raid leader will probably just call it out, but you just press your hardest hitting fucking heal and your appropriate trinket with that heal when you are told to do it. So if you're a paladin, it's like, well, we're not paladins, but it's like your biggest greater healing wave with a trinket popped. It's your biggest greater heal with a trinket popped. Like just your fattest heal possible. Shamans will drop healing stream totems. They're quite valuable on this fight. Other than that, you go to your assigned spore and you absolutely blast. If you guys don't know what the sport mechanic does, the long and short is the sport mechanic makes it so all your shit crits, 100% crit rate, and you generate absolutely no threat. So that's really cool. Just don't pull aggro at the start and you are good to go. There will be assigned spore groups. You'll see when we go to our spore group, I think I'm like the third or fourth spore. One of the things that you'll see is everyone needs to be standing on the spore. It's a very small range that you get the buff in. So if you don't follow that and you int the raid, you're just going to lose damage for the entire raid. So we're here early, we're waiting, all the boys are here, the boys are ready to party, the spore dies, we get the spore buff, we go back. Very simple, no one killed it early, very, very simple. So we're just going to blast this boss. We're not really going to watch. This boss is quite boring, and there's not really a lot to learn. You've already seen the one mechanic, and if you're a healer, you are literally, outside of your one assigned heal, you are wanding or DPSing. Okay, now we're going to go to the military ward. So there's a bunch of different packs here. These two melee guys at the front, they do a ton of damage, and actually I'll tell you about the pack after. So these Death Knights, they do a ton of damage. They can start spinning, and they can also be disarmed. But when they spin, they also chain knockdown. They chain knockdown and they do a fuck ton of damage. So I would recommend lipping. We don't have bops, so lipping or disarming them at like 60%. When they spin, they still knock down, but they do like no damage. The pack that you just saw, there's a shade and two, I don't know, like caster-looking mobs. You got to kill the caster-looking mobs. They do arcane explosions that hit for about 30% of the player's life, so you got to blow them up really fast. If they do 2 or 3 sets, your entire raid is dead. Big chain heals on this pack, but you'll see here, we're just blowing those guys up. If you slow that down, you'll see that it spin. A bunch of people ran out. But killing the skeletons do an immense amount of physical damage, so you just blow them up. So yeah, mob spinning, we're getting out. It's pumping, it's dead. Same thing, skeletons, blow them up. Okay, we're gonna pull that pack. Notice we're gonna target Skull first. Skull does a lot of damage. See, look how low the rate is just from 2 arcane explosions. Very scary. Alright, same thing here. Okay, moving. These guys are spinning, I'm getting fucked, I die. I could have pre-lipped, someone could have disarmed, I could have just not been in and not been the person to kill the mob. Bunch of things. True. If you also notice, like, we don't have world buffs, we booned up for this. We probably will not be booning for this, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I also, just having world buffs, I probably would have lived. So again, same thing, this is the entire trash here, so I'm just going to fast forward through this till we go downstairs. Alright, so these Cavaliers need to be blown up. They do a big shadow dot that does a bunch of taking damage, similar to the poison bolt volleys of the Gargoyles. And you don't want to get too many stacks. And then when we get to the stables, which is not this pack, but the next pack, what's going to happen is it's really important that we collapse on the horses. Every single person has all armor buffs that they can have. Priests need to have inner fire. Mages need to switch to ice armor. The hour-long armor pot is really good here. These mobs do a ton of damage when they cast. I think it's called Trample. You can taunt these, you can dummy these, you can AoE whatever the fuck you want, but they do just a ton of damage. They charge randomly. You could. See that druid? That druid got double charged and he died. And the first charge took him to like 10% life. Yeah. The priest in group 2 also got charged there and went to 10% life. Maybe. Okay, so this fight's pretty straightforward. Priests are going to mind control the mobs, and the mobs are going to be what tanks the boss. The boss casts, I think it's called Commanding or Booming Shout. If you're a caster or you use mana or healer, you cannot be an LOS of the mob during that time. If you do, you're probably going to die. But if you don't die, you're going to take a fuck ton of damage. You get mana burn. So it's really, really important that that you're in a good position. The priests who are mind controlling have done this before, so it shouldn't be an issue. But they're going to position the mob in a way. You can see they're invis pod in, mind control the mob. Okay, the off tanks are going to pull the other mobs off. Okay, so now the off tanks are tanking the little guys, and we're just pumping. Disrupting Shout is the name of the ability, but it's just being tanked by the understudy, and the understudy is getting healed by the healers, the other healers. If anything goes wrong on this boss, you can drop dummies. So dummies will AoE taunt everything, give priests time to mind control the mob again and cast taunt. Resuvius can kill the understudy, so you got to be ready to mind control a second target. That's why usually you have 2 priests ready to go here. And I do think on this kill it does get messy and we do have to dummy, but I don't remember. Never mind. Never unlucky. Okay, and then you just kill the mobs. Okay, so on these trash packs, there's swords, axes, and staves. Okay, the staves are top priority. They cast Arcane Explosion and do a fuck ton of damage. I believe the secondary kill prior was the axes. The axes cleave and do a ton of damage, and the swords don't do anything. They're kind of like a Warlock in Classic. They literally don't do anything. So I'm pretty sure the kill prior was stabs, axes, and then swords. They'll be marked. But yeah. See the gamer distract here? Oh, gamer dummy. I probably saved like 4 people with that dummy. That's big. Okay. Killing the axe first. Sword does nothing. There's swords, staffs, and swords, staffs, and axes. Swords don't matter and can be tanked indefinitely, don't really pose any threat. Basically just kill the mark, Skull X, Square Moon, and you'll be good. Okay, same thing here, we're going to blow up these casters, there's 2 of them. Watch the ray, you're going to take big damage. Okay, good. Same thing, kill these guys. Oh, a little death coil for the boys. Okay. Alright, so this is a double AoE pack with a double spinner pack. So kill those guys, and then we're gonna disarm / not get spammed into oblivion. Yep, I get stunned again. Holy, the craziest bot by Arnold. Insane. Okay, so there's going to be assignments. You're either going to be on live side or dead side. This point of view is going to be from live side, but basically how this fight works is every time you kill a mob on live side, an empowered version of that mob will go to the dead side, and you have to kill them. Again, I'll show you the point of view from live side. Basically, you're going to kill the mobs and manage how you bring them over. Priests can shackle the mobs, so you can kind of delay how they get moved over. But basically, you're just going to listen to your raid lead on this. They're going to tell you what to kill, when to kill, what to shackle, when to break shackles, etc. And then when the boss spawns, you're basically going to indefinitely shackle probably 3 targets. All the priests will be on the live side and just kill the boss. At some point during the down phase, the boss will teleport to the other side, and then everyone runs over and kills the boss, and then you just come back and kill the shackle mobs. So that's pretty straightforward. I'll fast forward here. You can kick the shadow bolts on the big horse dudes. You can see we have a mob shackled there. I think it has a deep wounds on it, so it's getting chain shackled. So after the next rider, you can see here in about 20 seconds, the boss is going to come down. Bandage up. Boss is about to come down. So you'll see after some amount of time, the boss will teleport. And then we all come together, kill the boss. Kill the shackles that remain. And then you still gotta wait for the undead, because those guys that shackle that just chained are gonna come to the undead side, so you can kill them. Alright, so we're gonna kill this shade, gonna blow it up. Shades can be stunned. You saw a cheap shot of the shade there. Okay, make those guys whip their cast, bring them in, blow them up. We're gonna get the ghouls, so the ghouls can be stunned. I don't even think we needed to pull them, but we did. You can see I banished cheap shot one here into a kidney shot. Well, they enrage at 30%, and that's when they're scary. They're kind of useless before then, so I just vanished cheap shot, so their perma CC can lock down. They can't block, dodge, or parry or anything when they're stunned, so they just die faster too that way. Okay, the same thing. These are just the gargoyles that put the stacking debuff out. You just need to kill them kill them before they stone form, and then same thing with the casters. We'll just probably let them whiff, and then we'll just blow them up. Looks like we're gonna get this pack for whatever reason, so Breed Leader says do, we do. Christopher, are you excited, man? The IEA rogue is like 8th overall right now. Yeah, Naxx is pretty cool. Good. Same thing. Gonna stun these guys. Going to stealth. A little stealthy boy. So a cheap shot into a vanished cheap shot. To a 5 point. Oh, I eviscerated. Greedy boy. Alright, so the next boss is going to be 4 Horsemen. So 4 Horsemen is basically very simple. If you're a DPS, you're going to make sure you have your potions pre-potted, and then you are going to make sure that you kill the assigned targets. If you're told to stay until it dies, you fucking stay until it dies. If you're not told to stay until it dies, you're going to get the fuck out. You'll see here how, like, where the safe spot is. You'll see very clearly where the safe spot is. But basically on pull, we're going to cleave them very aggressively, I believe, and then spread them out. I believe that's what we're going to do. Maybe we don't do that in this raid, I can't remember. But if you're a healer, you're going to want to get with Unsquashable to basically teach you how to do the rotation. It's quite simple, but basically you're going to be assigned to move on 1, 2, or 3 stacks, and then after you move on stack 1, 2, or 3, you then move on every 3rd stack thereafter. So if you're assigned 1, you're going to move on mark 1, 4, 7. If you're 2, it's going to be 2, 5, 8. If you can't do basic math, you probably shouldn't be playing WoW. So that's basically it. We don't stack them, so yeah, melee stack. Oh, little messy there. Okay, we're up big. The boss is shield wall, so it's really, really important that you just keep pumping through shield wall. This void zone mechanic is not actually supposed to be here, but don't stand in it. You will die instantly. I It's very messy 4 horsemen. Oh, I'm almost dead. I think this is a wipe, and then I think we run back. I don't actually remember. Yeah, there's no way this isn't a wipe, right? Someone fucked up on the opener. Yeah, we wiped. Okay, so... So everyone is popping their pre-pots. Alright, this is the pole. This is the first boss. He's being blown up. Big down. So I re-put up IEA, I get 5 combo points, I slice and dice and leave. So you gotta make sure when you approach this boss as melee, you need to approach from the outside so that there's a safe path to walk for melee when the void zones go out. And it's really, so void zone spawning right now. It spawned in melee range or by healers or something. But when you leave, you'll see that I'm walking as physically close to the void zone without touching it as possible. That's really important while taking a kind of a wide berth. This is the safe spot, so if any point in the you need to go to the safe spot for X, Y, or Z reason, that's where you go. But basically, the stacks have a duration of a minute, so you'll be able to flip back and forth once your stacks drop. From now, it's just going to be us rotating back and forth between bosses. We're going to kill this guy, and then we're going to go back over and kill the other guy, and then we'll run over and we'll alternate groups of like 5 on the last boss. The other boss has a chain lightning beam type thing, so you can't put too many people in melee range. But other than that, I mean, that's basically it. You can see I'm really close to the void zone there. See how close I am? So that if I spawn it, it's less likely to kill someone. All these people to the left of me are fucking retarded, bad, and stupid. Don't be like them. At 4, you'll probably die. 3 or 4. You just, the 5th one kills you. Yep. Or until someone says free to go in or whatever. So, like, I'll get... Yeah, like, I'll go in and I'll probably get to go in at some point. Actually, that 20%, I might not even. So I pop my frost pot here for Saf, because we know the boss is dead. I have 0 marks right now. It's a debuff in the top right hand corner. So he chain lightnings. You'll probably see it before he dies. Yeah, there. It looks like a yellow chain light, or a yellow chain heal. Yeah, just. Little dummy. On the last one, yeah, it'll probably just be go off cooldowns up. Yeah, so each boss basically has their own mark, and it does more damage than the mark before it. So 1 does less than 2, does less than 3, does less than 4. If you have world buffs out, taking the tick on the 5th mark will probably kill you. If you do have world buffs out, you might be able to survive the 5th mark, but basically the goal is to kill the first one before you get 5 stacks, and then the second one, you want to get low and then get out, go to the third one, get low and get out, kill the second one, kill the third one, and then that's what you saw in the video. The bosses can still give you marks after they die as well, so that's important to note, until all the bosses are dead. No. As long as the bosses die. Yeah. Yeah. So this raid wanted us to put around 150 frost res on, so that's what we're doing. I'm putting my 150 frost res on. You'll have individual instructions on what to do in our raid, so just make sure you follow them. You can see I'm giving Amy from Press W there some potions because she did not come prepared. Alright, so you're going to go in. Melee at all points is going to be max melee range, and they're going to be out of melee range at the start, just in case. Saf does all the normal dragon stuff. He tail swipes, he cleaves, he does all that shit. So just make sure you're with the melee stack, you're not parrying the boss, or doing anything like that. When Blizzard spawns, if Blizzard spawns on, yeah, see, people just can't do mechanics here, it's insane work. So if Blizzard spawns on melee, this is like what not to do on Sap, but if Blizzard spawns on melee, you need to run straight through or straight back. You don't run left, you don't run right. In the intermission phase, he's going to cast Ice Bolts on random people. The Ice Bolts are going to turn them into Ice Blocks. You don't want to be standing too close to the people because the Ice Bolt does AoE when it hits, but you do need to stand behind the Ice Bolt before Saf does his detonation. You'll see that we'll get a second phase of that. See, like this Dark Secrets guy just got knocked. Yeah, very nice. Guy got fucking flicked. Okay, yeah, see that there was Blizzard on melee. We ran through. Only 2 people in this entire raid know what they're doing. And then we get unlucky knocked. Feels bad. X2, big. Gonna get knocked again probably. I Petri here. So you can see now after the last ice bolt goes in, you have to get behind a block. If you don't, you die. That guy over there on the towards the middle of the screen died. Then he soul stoned, it looked like. So I got Petri, and for some reason I can't come out of my Petri. I have no idea why. Deadnark is telling me to type / cancel aura, and I do, and it doesn't work. And then eventually it just works. I don't know. Cool game. But anyways, kill the boss. Well, you should always bring a Petri on that boss. That's crazy loot, by the way, off Sap minus the trinket. But yeah, you should bring a Petri for that exact reason. When you Petri, you can be still healed, but you can't take damage from Saf. So notice I Petried out of life. I tried to take my Petri away when I was safe to come out. So quite good on that fight. Well, our strat is to play the fight properly, not have 3 people die at the start of the fight, don't misposition the boss, have the melee actually walk through properly on Blizzard so people don't get tail swapped. All those cool things. There was a lot of things that went wrong on that staff, but hopefully you get the sentiment. On this boss, pretty straightforward. They've reduced the RP apparently on KT, so the phase that you're seeing here on Era shouldn't be as long on Anniversary, but I don't actually know that. Also, so if you have a Titan's Flask at this point, you'll want to click it off. The mechanic in phase 2 of Sap is actually HP percentage based, so having extra life is actually a detriment to your character. You don't want to refresh any stam consumes that you have. You can leave your fort on though. So you'll see we'll start the boss here. Now, I don't know exactly what we're going to do before this on Horde. I think we might just have a warrior spam battle shout. I'm not sure. Or we'll just have to be very careful. But normally on Alliance, you just have someone in the middle with Kings spamming Righteous Fury and Kings on the warriors, and they have all the threat on all the mobs. So I don't know exactly what we're going to do on Horde for this, but we'll do something. It might just be actually play the game and kill the mobs. It is really important that if you have a Thunder Fury, you don't go too close, because you can pull the whole cages, and if you do pull the whole cage, we will wipe 100%. So you don't really want to go too much farther than halfway kind of up. You'll see I won't really go too much farther, but basically the little skeletons just kind of fall over, you blow them up. The patchwork looking guys usually get blown up by the melee, and the banshees that you see right there that move really slow are ranges priority. And you kind of just repeat this process until KT phase 2. In KT phase 2, what will happen is you will have assigned positioning So on healers, you'll have a rough idea where you're supposed to be based on a guide, so you just go to that spot. And then for melee, you'll be in stacks of usually 4 or 5. The 4 positions are usually quite simple. It's in front of the boss, to the boss's 3 o'clock, to the boss's 9 o'clock, and then the other one is the boss's back. So you'll be in one of those stacks. You have to stand in those stacks, and you have to stack at max melee range. It is like Cthulhu Beam, but on crack. If you fuck it up, you will kill every single person you chain to. 2 people will not live like on Cthulhu, 3 people will not live. Every single player will just die. So it's just Cthulhu Beam on crack. The nice part though is there's no knockback mechanic, so you won't get randomly knocked back in Beam. So I mean, there's that. Phase 2 is about to start here, so you'll see here, my stack I believe is behind the boss. So I'm on his kilt. So he does cast Frostbolts. It's really important that the Frostbolts are kicked. Any player in the raid can kick them. We're on Horde, so this should be easy. We have like 9 billion kicks. So you can see our stacking's kind of bad. Max melee range here. And so basically all we're doing at this point is we are kicking. You can see I kick there. We're kicking. We're keeping up debuffs. There's void zones that are going to spawn. So void zones will spawn at random spots in the room, okay? If you're a caster and it spawns on you, just get the fuck off the void zone. If you're a melee stack and it spawns on you, you walk backwards. Very important. He will randomly mind control 4 players. The 4 players need to be CC'd. You saw that I blinded the Slags guy, but the players can be shept, the players can be blinded, the players can be anything, okay? And what will happen is they need to be CC'd, it'll eventually end and you can continue on. This boss does do a frost tube mechanic. He's going to choose a small group of people and they're going to all turn into blocks of ice. Prior to that going out, if you are a priest, you need to cast Prayer of Heal prior to going out. And if you're a shaman, you need to target a melee player and you need to cast Chain Heal on melee. 1 heal should save a melee player, but 0 heals they'll die. You can also Frostbot, it's quite effective. But you can see Shadow Fissures going out, that priest just dies. The Shadow Fissure, you just move out. I'll just show Shadow Fissure one more time because I didn't do a great job of kind of explaining it. So you'll see here on the right, there's a Shadow Fissure that's about to go out on Warbase group, I believe. You notice how all of them back up. Shadow Fissure right there. They all move back. It goes away. They all walk forward. If you stay in the Shadow Fissure, you die. Correct. On this boss, Sleep Dust is broken and incredibly good. Sleep Dust literally works like Rogue Blind, and any player can use it, and it just instantly blinds the player. It is faster. It's actually just the absolute best way to deal with it. Rogues can also vanish kidney shot people or vanish cheap shot people. Really, really strong. There's a lot of really, really good options here. But anyways, that is Naxx. As you can see, a lot of the trash is more lethal than the bosses. The one thing that I want to reiterate is outside of like Saf and KT, most of the bosses are not dangerous, even remotely at all. So it's just really, really important to note that you are dealing with the trash and killing the targets in the right order.